How much of people's income do you, Michael Moore, want the government to confiscate?
Probably twice what we're paying right now.
It's not envy, it's war.
Where's the rage? Where's the uprising?
Storm the doors of the New York Stock Exchange.
It is a class war.
If the wealthy paid their fair share. For a documentary filmmaker, I do really well. I'm very blessed.
And the rich thought poverty was bad.
I do well.
They get rid of it.
What pure? There's nothing pure about capitalism.
And they know what's coming on Wall Street.
We're seeing the end of capitalism. And I say good riddance.
He is one of my favorite capitalists. Yeah, I want to give him a hug.
Hi, this is Matt Lewis from the Daily Caller, and you are listening to Vigilant Liberty Radio.
And this is Vigilant Liberty Radio. You're listening to Real Rhino Radio with your host, Taylor Millard and Allan Bordius. Go ahead.
Can I clarify Real Rhino?
Yes.
It's more along the lines of frickin' fed up at people who don't understand that Republicans are going to act like Republicans radio?
Yeah. Basically, what he's saying is that we're the real rhinos. Well, you're the real rhino. Since I live in an open primary state, I don't have to register as a Republican. And even when I was in a state that required you to register, Arizona, I was non-affiliated. I will be honest. I have considered re-registering as a Democrat for two reasons. Number one, I could then tactically vote in primaries to try to saddle them with the most absolute whacked-out candidates possible. And then reason two, I just, hang up or don't even answer the phone when I get, political calls. Yeah.
But if I start getting barraged by calls from Democrats, I may have to not only engage them, but inform them I'm going to record the calls. And that could, provide great show inserts.
Yes.
But, the other thing, since our good friend Crystal, my co-host on the Roundtable, is listening, and I know she loves this. And since we're sort of doing this off the cuff and impromptu, I think we have to play one of our favorite sound clips. So I'll do that for us.
We'll do it live. Fucking thing. We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. Fucking thing sucks.
And yes, Bill O'Reilly, anytime you'd like to come on Vigilant Liberty Radio, we'd love to have you.
You're welcome. You're welcome to be on whenever you want. Just let us know.
Just let us know. Give it a mention on your program.
Yes.
And allow us to intro you with that clip. And we'll hit it off great.
Yes. Yes. And talk about your time working for WFAA in Dallas.
So yeah, it's really, it's going to be interesting because now we have all of these, Mia Love's a traitor, Trey Gowdy's a traitor.
Well, they were calling Trey Gowdy a traitor 3 weeks ago for voting for the Cromnibus bill. Now, was I very happy that he voted for the Cromnibus bill? Not really. I wasn't very happy for anyone who voted for the Cromnibus bill. But I also knew it was going to pass, and I understood why they voted for it. I didn't agree with it, but I understood why they voted for it.
Sure. I did too, and actually, would I prefer them to do something different? Of course. Practically speaking, though, there was nothing really else they could do. And part of the problem there is And again, this speaks to the Republican Party and how they are not really a conservative organization, but you have Republican Party rhetoric of, we don't want a government shutdown. We don't want a government shutdown. Even a true conservative like Ted Cruz said, I don't want a government shutdown. Excuse me, but if you honestly believe that our country can do with less government and that the government is too big and bloated, how dare you tell me that you don't believe you should shut the government down if that's what it takes to reduce spending?
Yeah.
So, anybody want to call me a rhino for saying that? Please do. If you truly believe, listen to me, Republicans, listen to me, true conservatives, if you truly believe that you are there to reduce the size of government, dig your heels in, and not only that, embrace shutting down the government. Teach people that they can do without it. Please. But no, they won't.
And feel free to call in 214-646-1604, 214-646-1604 if you want to weigh in on this.
They won't embrace it, though. They'll boomerang it and say, well, we don't want to shut the government down. It's President Obama's fault that, because he isn't compromising, that, he isn't doing what we want. Well, you know what? Nobody's going to believe that, ever.
Well, not only that, but you also brought up a good point in a conversation that you and I were having off air, was that actually JD just said that he has a problem with that statement. JD, you got the phone number, call in. I have you on Skype too, but call in. It's an open forum. It really is. But the other thing that you and I were talking about is that, well, the issue has to do with the fact that all politics are local.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting.
Skype. You want me to call you on Skype?
It doesn't matter to me, JD.
Okay. Well, I'm here. I mean, I'm glad to be a part of the show.
All right, JD from Free Radical Network.
Hey, JD.
Who, by the way, you can catch the Free Radical Network simulcast podcast of The Refinery with JD and Felicia Cravens and the Party of Choice and the Conservative Union. You can catch that right here later on this afternoon here on Vigilant Liberty Radio. Be going up around 7 p.m. Eastern. So be sure to catch that. Anyway, go ahead. JD, you were saying that you had a problem with the statement about embracing shutting the government down.
Yeah, thanks for letting me on, guys. It's been a pleasure listening to the conversation and the resistance to the whole calling of RINO, because the House has been in session for 3 days. 3 days, and in that time period,
the world is already over, and it's time to vote everybody out.
Yeah, it makes absolutely no sense. And considering when you think about the fact that the majority of the state houses in the country, the majority of the governorships in the country, we have the Senate. I mean, we have all of these things, and we're going to give up because John Boehner got reelected to Speaker.
Yeah.
Okay.
You bring up a good point, JD, of the majority of state houses and everything, but let's talk about Republicans in state houses, because I can bring up the wonderful Republican-controlled legislature in Pennsylvania, who, under a Republican governor, went ahead and uncapped the wholesale gasoline tax. Guess what has happened to our gas prices in Pennsylvania after that? Even though the Republican governor at the time, one-term Tom, said, "Oh, I don't think these will be, I don't think the tax increases will be passed along to the consumers." There are your Republicans, folks. Why does anybody ever expect them to act differently?
And here's why they should expect them to act differently: because they have the opportunity to pick them. And if you have a problem, if you really do have a problem, see, this is the thing. The problem is not with the concept of primarying people. The problem is primarying people for stupid reasons. Primarying somebody because they voted for John Boehner is a stupid reason to primary somebody, because John Boehner was going to win as Speaker anyway, and nobody prepared to run against him. So calling for people to primary Mia Love, that is absolutely dumb. Now, if you're talking about somebody who has a bad record in the House and Senate, wherever they are in the Assembly, there are very valid reasons to primary people, and I encourage people to engage at a local level, engage at a state level, engage at whatever level that they can to go and actively participate in politics, because that great quote from Hercules, hey, you might not take an interest in government, but government's going to take interest in you. So get involved and do something about it. That's the thing. The thing that has burned me so much about this Boehner situation, the time to get rid of Boehner, why we're complaining about it now, when the time to complain about it, the time to do anything about it, was when he was running for Congress. That's when we have the maximum opportunity to get rid of Boehner, is when he's running for office. Primary him. We primaried Eric Cantor. So if Mark Levin, if Rush, if all those guys want to get all crazy about this situation, they could have impacted that. They could have focused their sights on John Boehner during primary season, find a good candidate, or, hey, here's a novel concept, and this is, I know it must be crazy for me to say this, but who's got a lot of money and who's got a lot of people that follow them, and if they really, really care about the way the country is going, and John Boehner is such a huge, scary thing that's a threat to the country, Mark Levin, why don't you move to Ohio District 4 and run against John Boehner? I'm pretty sure he wouldn't win against you. So there's a time and a place for this whole get rid of John Boehner thing. Now is not that time.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
I don't know if I could have said anything, if I could have said it any better. I mean, like I said, if there was a viable candidate to be Speaker of the House, say Justin Amash tomorrow says, something, I'm going to start running for Speaker of the House. I'm going to run for Speaker of the House in 2016. And Justin Amash says that he's going to do that, or 2017. And Amash says that, great. That's perfect. Because he's starting it right now. Right now.
Absolutely.
Is when he's starting it. And
you
so
have
that's
to
perfect.
put the groundwork down. You have to lay the groundwork down.
Yes, that's why I said the Scott Turner model, saying that he was going to go ahead and run for, as my mom knocks on my door, run for Speaker, when he did, that's perfect. Talk for a little bit. I got to answer my door.
All right. Sorry, go ahead, Alan.
No, that's okay. Taylor wanted me to bring up the all politics is local stuff, and what I'd like to say of that is another thing that sort of drove me kind of up the wall with the whole Fire Boehner effort was everybody who on our side is supposedly anti-government, reduce the size of government, DC is not the answer, we the people, are entirely focused on, well, if we don't do this in DC immediately, then all is lost. And it's just absurd.
Well, I think it depends on the place. I mean, it depends on the issue. I mean,
there are things that you can get support for, and that's goes back to this whole there was no plan to oust Boehner. There's a plan when you want to pass legislation. People work on that. People gather support. That's how that works. It's not something that you decide on Monday. Oh, hey, I think I'm going to challenge John Boehner. No, that's not how things work in D.C. You build a consensus over time. That takes a long time. That process is